time for Wicked Awesome Travel Tales. And I am here. I'm Janine Queenan with Storied Adventures Travel here in scenic Western Massachusetts with my lovely co-host, Amy Kaufman-Callahan. Hi, Amy. What's going on?
Hey, Janine. How are you? Are you enjoying your day so far?
I'm good. So far, it's nice. 80 degrees. Finally,
That's right.
The weather's nice. It's awesome. So
That's right. I'm
sitting
sitting outside today.
That's awesome. So tell everybody about you and your business, Amy.
Amy Kaufman-Callahan, also a Western Massachusettan, and Time Together Travel and all things romance. And I learned it all from this young lady who's sharing the screen with us today.
Yeah,
my mentor, my love mentor.
All the way from Louisiana, Shannon Cunningham. Hey, Shannon.
Hey, I brought this 80-degree weather for y'all.
Oh.
I figured since y'all were having me on the show, I'd let y'all enjoy some of our nice warm weather that we have down here.
It's probably like 95 there now by now, right?
Not yet. It's probably like 80 today, 80, low 80s.
So
that's what we had today.
I know, it's nice. So Shannon is from Paradise Vacation Escapes, and she is the Chief Romance Officer. And I love that. It's so much fun. And also, she is from someone named, hey, Cassandra just says hello. It's 87 in DC.
Hey, Cassandra. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Hey, Cassandra. Oh, my God, you're having a heat wave.
It's nice out. But I thought we could talk today a little bit about New Orleans, because if people haven't been to New Orleans, they certainly want to go to New Orleans because it's just New Orleans, right? So yeah. I went last year for the first and only time. I went for my 50th birthday. So that was a year ago.
A week ago.
Friends, it was so much fun. But I have to say, Shannon, that if I don't ever see Bourbon Street again, it will be too soon. I'm sorry. That place is a mess.
It is. Bourbon Street is not New Orleans.
Oh, no.
There's so much more to New Orleans than Bourbon Street. So much more.
Oh my gosh. I have never seen so much filth like ever. And I used to go to like festivals and stuff. And it was terrible. But I was happy to see it. But the performers on Bourbon Street, tell me if I'm wrong, are kind of surly. And I know it's hard to deal with drunk people all the time, but the street performers, I really had a kind of weird experience with that. So the better place is Frenchman Street, right? Where you send to people? Yeah.
Frenchman Street's really nice. And Royal Street is nice too for street performers. So you won't have as much entertainment on Royal Street. There's a lot of art shops, a lot of antique shops, boutiques, things like that on Royal Street. So Royal Street's great to go down. The street performers there are very tasteful rather than the ones on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
So Royal Street's a good spot to go. And then Frenchman Street's good as well.
Well,
it's really up and coming.
It seems a little more classy too.
Yeah, as classy as New Orleans can be.
Yeah, I was going to say, define classy.
I didn't see any like gigantic shoes of beer, like, the giant, like the brute of beer.
It's a huge ass beer.
What is it?
It's a huge ass beer.
It was a huge
ass beer, yes.
Mine says huge ass beer. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Classy, right?
Yeah, it is classy. Although some spots were classy. Just the music and everything was super inspiring. Yeah. But you suggested that you sent me and my friends on a tour, and it was super fun. And it was Lord Chaz, who is a vampire, right? He's a vampire. Yeah. And it was excellent street theater. And we went all around the city, and he told us all these creepy stories, from the past, all this, supernatural stuff. And at the end, he has a big finale, and I don't know if I should ruin it for people.
I know.
He wants to be a vampire, and something happens with blood. You know what? I'm not going to ruin it because
don't ruin it.
No.
I would recommend people go. If you go to New Orleans and you're looking for that type of tour, he was super fun.
And he's one of the first ones to do tours, like cemetery tours and the street tours and the ghost tours. He's one of the first ones.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he is. He's pretty cool. He's very authentic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Cassandra wants to know if you look like Brad Pitt. No, sadly.
No, not that kind of
No. He didn't even look like Tom Cruise. He didn't look like either one of them.
That was going to be my next question, because when I was there, I didn't see that one.
What's that wrestler's name? I don't know if anybody's into WWE, the wrestler. He's been
Wayne Rock Johnson?
Oh, no. That would have been okay.
It's the only one I know, because he's really cute.
He does have a Facebook page under Lord Chaz, and he's got people that work under him. Oh, look, Cassandra wants to know if he talked about Anne Rice in her books. I don't remember if he talked about her or not. He does talk a lot about New Orleans history and things that actually happened or supposedly happened in some cases, but I believe
Does he make it really dramatic?
It is good.
Is it like really?
For sure. And there are kind of people in and out of it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, he told me a story. Tell me if this is true or not. So, the houses down, so correct me if I'm in the wrong neighborhood, French, right? The big stately old houses, and they're 2 floors. Then they have the beam, and there are spikes sticking out of the beam. And he said it's because if people would go up to visit someone's daughter and they tried to sneak out, they wouldn't be able to climb down without being like mortally wounded. Is that true?
Yeah. Yep, that is true from way back in the day.
Right.
I think, now I don't know if too many dads do that. I know my dad probably would have did it 30 years ago when I was a teenager. My dad probably would have used that tactic. He was that strict, but yeah, that was one of the reasons behind it.
So that was a huge problem then, like boys sneaking into the girls' rooms.
Yep.
Apparently it was. Well, Southern girls, right, Shan? Southern girls and Southern belles had to have a certain what's the word I want? Air about them and purity and all that. I mean, anybody who's watched Gone with the Wind knows this.
They have a really
Oh, you know what though is? I forgot to toast.
Okay, let's talk.
Oh my God, the whole point of this whole thing.
The spring and a wonderful weekend, ladies.
Right.
And a wonderful weekend and the sun and warmth finally shining in Massachusetts.
I know. Do they still have cotillions? Or is that like a movie thing?
Is that more of a Georgia thing?
Yeah, they don't have those. Not that I'm aware of in New Orleans, so who knows?
So if someone wanted to plan a trip to New Orleans and didn't want all of that Bourbon Street situation, what would you suggest? Like, what would be where would you send people? Like, what would be in terms of food? And because I have to say, the food was
amazing.
Food is incredible. So I live about 45 minutes west of New Orleans. So if you're in New Orleans, you go west, and I'm in a little town called Prairieville, Louisiana. So I'm just far enough to not be in that craziness, and I use that term crazy in a loving term because I love it, and I'm close enough to drive there and visit, and we go as often as we can. In fact, we're Saints season tickets holders, so
I was just going to bring that up, Shannon.
So we go when the Saints are at home, we usually spend the weekend or at least the night there for the game. And I've stayed at over 30 hotels. I counted a couple years ago, and I've stayed at over 30 different hotels in New Orleans. And I don't know how many restaurants we've eaten at, but we love food. We're big foodies, and my husband loves to cook. I love to eat. And so
match made in heaven.
Perfect place to do it. Yeah, exactly.
There's a bug on me. I had a bug on me. Sorry.
So Roxanne said our biggest fan, Roxanne, is on.
Our biggest fan, Roxanne O'Donoghue.
That's my
Roxanne
dog.
O'Donoghue.
My dog's outside barking, and I think he's done.
Cassandra wants to know what we're drinking.
Oh, so I have a dirty martini.
Nice.
Of course you do. Mine's just vodka on the rocks because I can't wine after yesterday. That's all I'm saying.
And I rosé. I drink rosé in the summer, so it feels like summer today. So I'm officially
finally,
over, which is nice. Which is finally
rosé all day.
I know.
No more bugs, right? Okay, good.
So, and the thing about New Orleans is there's lots of tourist traps, and they're not bad tourist traps, but there's so many better places that people can go and visit in New Orleans that aren't tourist traps. You know, they're locally owned. They're people that were born and raised in New Orleans, you know, restaurants that have been around for generations and generations that you can enjoy and really get a good taste of the culture and the ambiance and the just everything that New Orleans has to offer. New Orleans, it's all about hospitality and, you know, let's say le bon temps roulé. Let's have it, let the good times roll.
Yeah.
And that's
how would you find something though? Like what we suggest? So I'm walking through New Orleans and I'm gravitating towards where the crowds are. And I know as a travel advisor, we always tell people to take the left when everyone's taking a right, right? And that's
right.
Yeah. You might not want to do that in New Orleans. There's some places you don't want to take a left.
Okay.
So stay in the French Quarter. It's really safe. It really is. As long as you stay within certain areas. I mean, just like any town, there's bad areas and there's good areas.
Major city. Yep.
Especially at night, you know, you don't want to walk, you know, just three women by themselves walking around the French Quarter in the outskirts of the French Quarter. In the French Quarter, you're fine. Right. But if you need to get back to your hotel that's within walking distance, you know, like 10 blocks or so, you might want to take a cab instead.
Yeah. But 10 blocks is a lot. So I probably take a cab. Yolanda is originally from New Orleans.
She's from I believe she told me a little suburb of New Orleans. What is it, Yolanda? I can't think of it. It's not.
It's So let me ask you this question. So, like as we were just saying. So if I did want to find someone, I mean, when I was there, we were looking on Yelp and things like that. Is that still a good way to do it, or should we just ask somebody? Will people be honest, or do they not want to give up their favorite spot? You know, it's been Goofy me down. Or, let's go.
Yeah. So I would ask the people at the hotel to make sure you ask somebody that's from the area. Mm-hmm. You know, somebody that's been living there a while. Ask them. I mean, if you find somebody on the street, they might be a tourist like you. So I would ask somebody from the hotel, say, hey, what's your favorite place to eat? So, you know, the Acme oyster is real popular for the charbroiled oysters or raw oysters, and they're good, but Drago's is so much better. Yeah. And, you know, Drago's has been around New Orleans area for years and years and years. And there's other places that have them as well, but Drago's is hands down the best. They invented them.
Right.
So it's real cool. And they're from Drago's owner and founder is originally from Croatia. So it's pretty cool to read his history, and they've got the history in the two restaurants. So one's in the outskirts of New Orleans and one's downtown, in the downtown area at the Hilton Hotel on the Riverwalk. So that's one of my favorite spots. There's just these,
what about Café Dumont?
Café Dumont?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Café Dumont, of course, you got to go there. It's open 24 hours to get your beignets, and they're good. And the line is getting longer and longer. Mm-hmm. However, if you go around the back, there's a walk-up window that usually has a much shorter line if there's ever a line. And you can grab your beignets to go and then have a seat at go in and find a seat, and you don't have to wait in a long line.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Look at that. See,
how do you eat one without being covered by powdered sugar? Not that happened to me.
Oh, that's the fun of it, is to make sure you get,
what the heck?
And you just blow it on everyone.
That's right. Well, you gotta have the chicory coffee, which is out of this world.
Yeah,
there's no other place on the planet like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know it's touristy. I know it's super uber touristy, but it's totally a New Orleans thing. And I when they were showing New Orleans when the pandemic first started, and they showed Cafe Dumont, completely shut down. I'm like, oh no, that's so sad. What is that sign to anybody who knows what that is? It's iconic there. So.
Yeah. So yeah, Yolanda said Johnny's Po' Boys is her favorite French Quarter po' boy. He's definitely one of mine too. Those, I don't know what they do different to their po' boys, because we have po' boys all over the quarter, but Johnny's is the best.
Can you explain to people what a po' boy is?
Okay, so a po' boy is a sandwich on French bread, and the New Orleans French bread. And I think Johnny's uses Limeheimer French bread, which is delicious. What do y'all call your sandwich?
A grinder out here.
A grinder.
Yeah, I grew up calling them subs.
Subs, yeah. Okay, so subs. So it's just a po' boy here. PO-BOY, po' boy, and not poor boy. It's a po' boy, and so my favorite po' boy is a fried shrimp po' boy. My husband loves the debris po' boy, which is like a hot roast beef with different places put different things on it. So it's filled with gravy, and the bread gets all soppy and messy, and you have to have 100 napkins to eat it. But I think the secret is the bread, the French bread that they use, because it's just got a different, fresher taste, and they're just delicious. So Johnny's Po' Boy is in the quarter off of, can't think of the street, but it's off of one of the main streets, Iberville or one of those streets, not Iberville.
Yeah, that's
Decatur.
That's good.
Decatur Street.
What street?
Decatur.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
For some reason, I thought the po' boy had to be shrimp or seafood. So that's
no. It can be. It's a ham po' boy, an oyster po' boy, fried oyster po' boy.
So it's a sub.
Fried soft shell crab po' boys are good because the little legs are hanging off and.
Now, Shannon, do you know why it's called a po' boy? Do you know the history? It's okay if you don't. I'm just curious. No? Okay.
No, I
don't either. So
I just grew up.
Janine, I'm giving you homework right now.
Okay. I'm on it. I'm on it.
I knew you would be.
So I have another question. And we went on a tour. We went on a bus tour just for the heck of it, right? The weather was not that great, so we jumped in a bus. And we went into Ward 9, where Hurricane Katrina really damaged. So I was totally conflicted about this. So I would love to hear your view on it, because I can imagine the people who live there are so sick and tired of tourists driving through their neighborhood and kind of looking out the window. But on the flip side, I feel like it's super important to remind people what happened and how much damage happened, and how much it was neglected. Because their house is still rotting there. And it's amazing. It was amazing to see. But what do people who are local feel about that? They must be like, oh my God, I can't deal.
They really don't say anything. I mean, I don't personally know anyone that lives in the Ninth Ward or is from there. But, I think they kind of are proud to show that the ones that are there, that they're still there, that, they're resilient. And it takes a lot to take New Orleans down.
Yeah.
You guys have proven that more than once,
right? Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and I would recommend, I don't want to exploit anyone or any neighborhood or anything like that. But I feel like if you were conflicted about what happened in Katrina, go visit, because you can still see the water lines, how high and where the people were trapped on top of the highway overpasses, and then how they're literally rotting. From years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
there's a restaurant on Canal Street called Mandina's. It's another great restaurant, not a touristy place, but it's been around for years and years and years. So Mandina's, and in their restaurant they have a plaque that has Katrina waterline.
Really?
No way.
8-10 feet high. It's high.
Wow.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
And I get chills every time I see it, because we're sitting down eating and I look up and go, I would be submerged in the water.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But it's come back so well. Like the city, some of the neighborhoods are so beautiful. So we stayed in, it begins with an M.
Malion?
No. Maracay? Is Maracay? Is that right? Maybe not. But anyway, the houses are all different colors.
Mm-hmm.
It was gorgeous. It was just beautiful. And there were really nice restaurants and bars, like right in that little enclave that we were in. I mean, clearly people have come in and purchased properties and done a really nice job fixing them up. So
yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I just love the history. The history is amazing. The people are amazing. The food's even better. And just what a beautiful corner of our country, truly. Just an amazing place.
Mm-hmm. You can go and spend, like I said, we go as, I can't tell you how many times we've been. We go so often, and it's like, oh, well, we need to come back and do this, and we need to come back and do this. There's always something.
There's so much to do.
Always something to do. There's always something to look forward to. And then it's like, well, we got to come back to this restaurant. But then we go and like, all right, we got to go somewhere different.
Yeah.
Got to go somewhere different. Okay. So, we'll pick a weekend and we're going to say, we're not going to eat at any of the same restaurants. We got to go to a new restaurant both nights this weekend.
That's amazing.
Right.
So it's fun.
To be able to live in a place where there are that many options.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? It's amazing. Go ahead, Shan.
I was going to say, even if you leave the New Orleans area, you're still, living here in Prairieville, we still have outstanding chefs, outstanding restaurants here. It's like, what are we going to eat tonight? Where can we go? Yeah. So our band just lifted, and it lifted for today. And so the first thing I did when the governor talked on Monday afternoon, I called out one of our favorite restaurants here in the Baton Rouge area and said, can I get reservations for Sunday brunch? That was the first thing. And then I called and got a hair appointment. Hair.
Right, now you got your priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
One of the cool things that I remember, so, full disclosure here, my ex-husband and his family all live in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
So right, yeah. So I know quite a bit about New Orleans, probably far more being, in Massachusetts and New England than most people do. But anyway, so one of the things I remembered are the plantations that are now these museums, and it is totally gone with the wind. When I have pictures of our daughter, who is now 22 years old, but she was a toddler, literally tiny thing, walking through the plantations. And I don't remember, Shan, where they were in New Orleans, but we were in New Orleans visiting his family. And Molly and I was walking through this plantation, and I felt like Maureen O'Hara. I really, really did, walking through that. It's the history. And then they have the most magnificent place, which I thought was really cool, was the World War II Museum that they have there. And my new husband and I were there when we first started dating as one of our trips. Whole nother story. We have a whole nother half an hour, I'll tell you. But anyway, so we went there, and it is truly back in the 1940s, and they have the big band and the girls singing and the dancing and all that stuff. I got the biggest kick out of it. It was so much fun.
It is. They like to do it up. And so now there's a hotel by the World War II Museum. I forgot the name of it because it just opened up in January, February. Just opened up in January, February, and I did a bridal show there in March. So it's real nice. Hush.
Mom. Is he listening to you? No.
No.
It's like having a kid.
The hotel's really nice, really cool, and it's right across the street from the World War II Museum. So they've got that has a really nice restaurant in it. And then the museum, the plantations, most of the plantations are on the outskirts of New Orleans.
Yep, that's what I remember.
Yep, the best one, hands down, is called Houmas House, Houmas. And of course, it's on the River Road, but that one is probably about 40 minutes outside of New Orleans. It's about 20 minutes from my hometown. So we get to go there. I love to go there to just walk the gardens, have lunch, but they have a bed and breakfast there. They have places you can stay. He was scheduled to open up a Southern History Museum there in April. Of course, that's been postponed, so I'm hoping he opens it up in the next month, hopefully this month, but it's brand new. The steamboats are going to stop at his plantation, and they get off, and he built a bridge to go over the road from the levee to the plantation. He has replicated every thing to be exactly as it was during the time that it was built and everything. And it's so historically correct. The restaurant is amazing. They have 3 restaurants there. One is reservations only, fine dining, and it's a tasting menu only. That is an experience like no other. And then the other has, a buffet with red beans and rice and your staple Southern food.
Yeah.
And the other one is just a mix of different things. So it's my favorite. Like, we love to go there. It's definitely probably the most elaborate plantation with the most to offer, especially now that he has the museum. And I forgot, he has a pavilion where they're going to start doing performances and different things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to start.
Oh,
that's amazing.
So much fun.
That's amazing.
Awesome. So that's definitely a place to put on your list if you're going to go to the Homeless House. You definitely will feel like you're taken back in time and just really.
It's amazing. Those plantations are absolutely amazing.
It is. And they have, you can do the tour and everybody's dressed in costumes. So the girls are in Annabella costumes. The guys have on a top hat and a vest, and it's all, they talk like this, like people think we do from the South, but I don't.
Really Southern.
Well,
fiddly-dee.
They have their fans so it's pretty cool.
Well, as a side note, those dresses were popular when I was in high school for prom dresses.
Yeah, me too.
Gigantic
boots. I wanted one in the worst way, and Mom and Dad would have nothing of it. It just wasn't going to happen. Shannon, so when you say that you're open now, is it tourism yet?
Not really. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know. We were looking at going to New Orleans next weekend.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's what I'm thinking of, a summer vacation, to be honest with you. And I know summer in Louisiana.
It would be, it's fun. I mean, it's hot, but it's a great time. There's usually better deals offered during the summer. And we all have air conditioning, so you can just go in the buildings and sit in the AC. But I think, we're doing phases. So I think New Orleans tourism will be probably phase 2, phase 3, when more tourists will start coming in. What's really cool, I saw on the news today, a lot of the places in New Orleans boarded up their shops, like in the quarters and stuff. So what this one group did, because New Orleans has to do something a little different, they hated seeing the plywood on the windows. So the artists got together and they went and started painting. They started getting sponsors to paint art on the plywood for the businesses. So they went in and painted the art, and, they've raised money for the artists that were out of work.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So now what they're going to do, once the businesses start opening, they're going to pull the plywood off and auction off the plywood as art to continue to raise money for charities for the artists. So it still brightened up the neighborhood for the locals, so they didn't have to walk around and see this boring plywood, because, like I said, it's New Orleans. They got to be different. They got to have that flair and have that little added extra.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, definitely.
Good. That makes New Orleans, New Orleans.
It does. So that was so awesome. Cool to see that. We just saw that at lunch today. So yeah, we might be out there next weekend. So you may see some posts from me on Facebook.
Good. I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. And let me know as soon as tourism opens up that maybe we could come for a visit. That would be, I'm telling you, I would love it.
Well, speaking of that, Shannon, why don't you tell everybody watching where they can find you on social media if they want to connect?
And bring up Santa Princess.
Okay, yep.
I love it.
I know. I am on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook under Shannon Cunningham. I'm also on Facebook under my travel business as the Chief Romance Officer as Paradise Vacation Escapes. And then I also have an Inspired by Shannon Facebook page that where I give motivational tips. I do mentoring with travel professionals one-on-one, things like that. And I also am the author of a children's book called The Santa Princess, which is about, it was just released this past November. And it's about Santa Claus's daughter and how she spreads magic just by being herself, and just spreads magic throughout the world in her own special way. because no one's ever talked about Santa's daughter. And the story behind the book is I used to have a photography studio for 12 years, and my dad played Santa during my Christmas sessions, and he was the real Santa. He was the real deal, real belly, real beard, the works. And I mean, he made everybody believe that he was the real Santa, and I even believed it. So he he always taught us growing up, and me, I took this from him and my mom growing up, to love unconditionally. And so that's what the book is about, is what Santa teaches his daughter, to love unconditionally, to shine brightly. And so that's where the inspiration came from. And so we call it the Santa Princess, because when somebody said I was Mrs. Claus, I'm like, no, Santa's my dad. I'm old enough to be Mrs. Claus. Hell no, I'm the Santa Princess.
Right. There you go.
I said that, I got chills, and the whole book idea came. And so the book was released. So there's a Santa Princess page on Facebook, or the santaprincess.com. So you can get a copy of the book.
Wow.
I was just going to ask you, where can they get a copy, Shan?
On the santaprincess.com. I'll probably be running a Christmas in July special.
Oh, that's great. Good. Excellent. Well, everybody go check out Shannon's pages, her multiple pages on Facebook. And Roxanne is asking if this is being recorded, because you gave us so many awesome hits and tips for New Orleans. So yes, Roxanne, it is, and you can find it on the Story Adventures page. And thank you so much for coming on, Shannon. It was
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad I got to hang out with y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon. Oh, it's beautiful to see you. Namaste.
And thank you to everyone that came out for wicked, awesome travel tales. And toast to you. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Let's say le bon temps relais.
Cheers, everybody.
Le bon temps relais. I butchered that, but I gave it a try, Shannon.
All right.